Okay. If you tune in to me, you watching Gully TV, I have a special guest, a bi-coastal artist. This brother then played on the East Coast as well as the West Coast. He made his name and reputation in the hip-hop business in Northern California. Please introduce yourself, pimp.
Iliac, a.k.a. Mr. Ill, the smoke bringer.
Tell me how you came up with the name Mr. Ill.
I call the microphone the ill stick. So that's another word for Mr. Microphone or sick on the mic.
Okay. I brought you here specifically today to discuss not only your background, but a legendary compilation that you appeared on. Is the Cellblock compilation, is that primarily the vehicle that gave you your name?
Nah, I featured on Bad Influence, all wrapped up first.
Okay.
When I first hit the town.
Okay. What year did you arrive in Oakland?
I've been touching the soil since '89, summer '89.
Okay, and you're a native of Chester, Pennsylvania.
Bless up, absolutely.
Tell me what it was like growing up in Chester, Pennsylvania.
For me, initially, two-parent household, both of them worked. Divorce happened due to, life, adultery, cocaine. I attended private school till up to about fifth, sixth grade. Then when the house split, it was to the streets.
Okay.
Because of public school. Yeah.
When did you start rapping?
Fifth grade.
Fifth grade?
My first rap name was Dizzy C. Kind of like a play off of Jazzy Jeff and all that kind of stuff. So with my first name being Carl, I came up with Dizzy C.
What part of Chester are you from?
It's considered like Booth Wynn, but the specific street is People Street. Your little context. Like I said, I came from a two-parent home, both of them worked, things like that. Attended private school for a while, so I was only the fourth black family on my block, so I still was dealing with the Hells Angels and the what do they call themselves? Like the white biker club. So I ran into the word nigger and all that a lot.
Okay.
So,
okay. When did you start to venture off into the city of Chester? I assume that's where you perfected your rhyme skills.
It is traveling, doing different things. Well, though, my vocabulary comes from my private school education.
Okay.
So that's the reason my vocabulary is extensive, depth, or in that particular fashion. But I still used to visit both grandmothers. One grandmother, my mom's mom, lived in the Bennett Homes projects, and if you wanted to go down the bottom of the hill, you had to be able to fight. So you had to go. I wanted to go down the bottom of the hill, and then my other grandmother, my dad's mom, she lived in the Wilm Penn projects on Murders Row.
Murders Row. Tell me where all this.
Red bricks.
Before we get to the murder,
Yeah.
tell me where all this basketball was being played, because I'm from Pennsylvania and I didn't encounter the Chester guys not only in basketball camps, because I really played ball, but in the prison system as well. I got some associates from Chester, and all them niggas can hoop, even if they don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Tell me what what was up with the basketball scene in Chester.
Well, you was down at the bowl at the in the Wilm Penn or at the Boys and Girls Club. God rest Mr. George. He everybody from my dad to my mom's brothers, you played at the boys club. Cross the tracks.
Okay.
You went there to swim, you went there to play hoop.
Okay.
Outside and inside.
What part of the city was Jameer Nelson from?
Jameer is right off Edgemont Avenue. At least his mom stayed on Edgemont Ave. Which is, as soon as you go up, it's like if you come out his house and go west, you're going right to Avenue of the States, and then Avenue of the States takes you right out to the Wilm Penn.
Okay. Was there a specific neighborhood or housing projects that was a little bit more known for ball players? Was there a hotbed there, or the whole city was on fire?
Wilm Penn was the major place because, like I said, the boys club was in the pen. You had to go to the pen. You had to prove yourself at the boys club or down in the bowl in the middle of the win pen.
Okay. Who some of the reputable guys was making their names in this environment? If you don't mind, go ahead, name drop, will you?
Well, I can only tell you my generation, my Zane Shaw, the GOAT, my brother Jamar Shaw, LeBron before LeBron, real talk, did everything. And then you got the twins, you got Rick G's. That was my generation. But like I said, my pop is pictured down the Boys and Girls Club, Mo Bish. His name Elmore, but he went by Mo Bish. My uncle Gritzy, Paul, all those guys just used to get it in. And my brother Maurice took St. James to the championship. They played at the Spectrum when it was still the Spectrum. They lost, but he was good enough to take them to the chip.
Okay. Shout out to Chester. They got a rich, very, very rich history in basketball. Name been ringing bells forever. Even my homeboys that played up there at Glen Mills, they would tell about, when Chester came to town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get your feet wet as far as hip-hop on the West Coast?
How did I get my start?
Yeah.
My brother Davey D, Funktown Davey D, not Davey D the DJ. That's my brother. So, Dave heavy in the streets. I got a chance I was accepted on all the turfs initially because of him.
Okay.
And, got mad, had to put, let everybody see I was a boy. So, I start moving.
When you say you was accepted on all the turfs, tell me about some of the neighborhoods or some of the turfs that you visited or you had to put your thing down.
8-4 was Slow and Jock, Bain over in the Village, the West, Lower Bottom specifically, Tone Shankums, Tone Capone, Blackbird, all just everywhere, bro. I was in Richmond, I was in Vallejo, off of Magazine, in Tennessee. It was just everywhere, for real. I went everywhere. And what's the spot across the bridge from Richmond? The Jungle. Used to mess with this broad named Naisha over there, so I used to be over there too. I had the hammer on me, so I was like, I'm going wherever
Okay.
I'm going wherever I'm going to go. But again, I wasn't on no bullshit though, so I was, you know what I'm saying, just soaking up game, getting laced with the game, and they seen it was real, like I said, and I was accepted.
Okay. Accepted. What did you do to get accepted? Did you battle some niggas or what's up?
Nah, just being thorough, being the same. You walk on ill is the same as if, every day. Ain't no fraudulence. So it was just for being 100 all the time, being the same all the time. A little bit of hustle, not too much, but just enough to in between the royalty checks.
Right.
So, and then being around, but I was around big guys, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, Slow, Bean, Jock, these is all millionaires. My brother Dave, so, my brother Duke, you know what I'm saying? Just being affiliated with Pretty Boat and Funktown and all that kind of stuff. So, again, being associated or affiliated initially, and then, like I said, then I met Diddley, Ron, D-, my boy Mace from the North Pole. So as I begin to just, expand my reach in the streets and be seen with people of reputable, Vidal, just and meeting all these guys, and then it's like, oh, okay, ain't no fuck shit. So then my credibility is what got me in the door, and then so that was basically, that's how that happened.
All right, now coming from the East Coast, I'm from the East Coast. I happen to be fully aware of the Northern California Bay Area hip hop scene from top to bottom, all of it. Grew up on it
Right.
as if I lived out there. I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania, and we was just on the bay for whatever reason, the Bay just hit. You know what I mean? It was a lot of compilations. This when the record stores was open. We was always buying them compilations and shit like that. So I was aware of it, and I knew what to expect. I knew what it was. You coming from the East Coast, did you go out there thinking that you was gonna be better than them niggas, you know, musically, or did you go out there with that East Coast, you know, the arrogance?
I did not remember. I started hitting the town in '89. I was only 15, so I got out there, began to see what it was. Moms had moved out there from like I said, from the divorce, and my brother Maurice was stationed in Alameda off the Carl Vinson. So I went out there young and observative, not with any type of preconceived notions.
Okay. What was your first studio experience out there? I'm trying to establish, how did you get selected to appear on the Cellblock compilation? I just want to put out there that at the time when the Cellblock compilation came out, a lot of those guys on there, they weren't mainstream stars and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was like street artists, some shit that you had to discover. But how did you?
Only Short, Rich, and a couple other people was already, you know what I'm saying, they were established. I, again, had the unique position of Davey D being my brother. Dave remember he had a bad influence from Short, from the Dangerous Crew. So when I told him, bro, I spit, he was like, what? I can't judge you. Let me take you to meet Ron and Diddley. They'll tell me if you tight.
Right.
So, Center Street, Lower Bottoms, Ron and Blackbird was in the car, hot boxing, and then we pull up in the Cherokee. Dave like, yo, Ron, I need you to listen to ILL for me. He said, who? He's like, my brother right here. He's like, okay. So I spit him 3 Hills of Sugar. He was like, oh yeah, he raw. He see the light. That's what Ron called it, seeing the light.
Okay.
And so he was like, okay, that's one half. And then later that day at Pajama Studios downtown, they were in the process of recording the Bad Influence album. And I met Diddley. I spit something for Diddley. And I got stamped.
Okay.
Then when I heard them on the other hand, I was like, yo, West Coast niggas don't spit like this. Because these niggas got it.
Right.
So that blew my top. I was like, man, these niggas raw. I didn't expect that.
Okay.
I did not expect to hear Ron and Diddley's verbiage, the different styles, that just, you know what I'm saying, they don't sound like each other, yet still they both was raw. And then their back and forth was crazy. Absolutely bananas. So I was impressed. And I was surprised that they were impressed, because I mean, again, 3 Hills of Sugar is one of my bigger, you know, records that I'm known for. But that's what I was doing right there on 9th Street on the wall. Right there across from, right there Avenue of the States where it meet. Right there on the wall by the church, just hanging out, jumping on the trash truck when it came by, howling at bras, gambling, playing dice, me and my cousin Dewan and my cousin John.
Okay.
So, yep. But that's where 3 Hills of Sugar came from. That whole, you know, that experience from about 12 to 15. That, you know, past, present, future. So that's what the 3 Hills are. The past, present, and future is what the 3 Hills represent.
Oh, okay. What track did you appear on the Bad Influence project?
I had my own track called Pulls Out My Flamer. Diddley and I, Rough Like Pavement. Let's see, what else did I appear on? I think that so what else did I? Oh, and Maniac Mind.
So they really showcased you your first time out. You earned
They
that.
thought that, they thought that highly of me. They was like, well, let's get ILL on 3 or 4 tracks of y'all's to start to introduce him, because only they heard me spit.
Okay.
And then the Cellblock compilation, I was kind of featured on that too, with starting off Expect the Unexpected. You had 1-800. You had Can You Swing It?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had like 3 on there as well.
Dope. Tell me about the production for 1-800, which is my favorite MR.ILL joint, man. That shit just, I think that was the hottest joint on the Cellblock compilation. I think I could argue that, and I think most people will agree. That's just my personal opinion. But who did the production on that?
I don't remember who did the beat, bro.
For real?
It was either Sonny and damn, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I would be lying if I said I knew exactly. I really don't. I forget.
Right.
Hold on. Yeah, I don't remember.
That shit was cold. It come on crazy the way it come on. Doom, doom. That shit come on crazy, man.
And a lot of the concepts, anything that I was on, I pretty much came up with the title. I just had a gift for concepts and creating and things of that nature. The only songs that I featured on, in essence, are ones that I did not do the topic, did not create the title of the song.
Okay. So, 1-800, you of course you created the title. What you was feeling? You was in a mood at the time. You was just feeling some type of way.
Yeah, just fed up with the bullshit. Well, just as far as I was fed up with the bullshit in the industry, like just the niggas thinking they was raw. So after Ron stamped me, you couldn't tell me nothing. Right. Because listen, Rapping Ron is when people be talking about God MCs, Ron belongs in that in that stratosphere. Especially freestyle. Oh man, I would. Only because it would be blasphemy would I not say that I would bet my life on it. But anything short of that in my children, we're on to get anybody freestyling. I don't care where we are in the world. Right. I would bet that much on it.
Right.
Oh yeah. Even Fab will tell you, Ron was Ron. Ron, it's plenty of interviews with Yuck and Fab and saying, and there's Ron before me, Ron, I don't care. You even got on, I think it's on Nas' second album, Rest in Peace, Rapping Ron. Like, niggas knew who Ron was. As far as, what's that? It Was Written. It was on that back. It Was Written. One of the Scarface albums, Rest in Peace, Rapping Ron, because we, Oakland and Houston have a close connection anyway, and then we did, I don't want to get too far ahead, but we had a connection with Houston as well. Right. So. People knew who Ron was, absolutely. And then they knew it because they knew him from Get In Where You Fit In. And then from then on off, it was, the rest was history.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, I got to do more research on Rapping Ron. I got to get a picture and everything, man. I love when people implement the legends, the guys that ain't all the way recognized all the time and shit, like really, really in the trenches. I be wanting to know about those guys. I always ask guys when I go to a guy's region, who is the hot guy? Who is the hot nigga when you got there? I be wanting to know that. So, particularly, who was the hot guy when you got there, when you got to Oakland?
Well, Short.
Short, of course, yeah.
Short, yeah. I mean, that's Short, 40, Sieg, Sibo. This is what Ron was pushing on me.
Okay, yeah, all heavyweights. How did you end up in the situation to appear on the Cellblock compilation? I know I asked you that in another manner before, but how did it take shape? Who were responsible for it? A compilation is basically a professional mixtape or something like that.
Correct.
How did you get the slot? And do you feel that 1-800 was your joint on there?
So, I had the inside track because Davey D is my brother. But if Ron and Diddley had not stamped me with the okay, I wouldn't have been on nothing. So it's a combination of the two. Having access to studios and things like that because of dealings that my brother Dave had with Short and things of that nature and how far they go back.
Right.
And then Ron and Diddley having already appeared on Get In Where You Fit In, then again, and their stamp of, oh yeah, he raw. That is how I got my slots, along with, like I said before, the albums. I'm sorry, the songs that I was on Bad Influences album. So the proving ground was there. The street buzz was created. So then it was, well, you know how it was at the time, feature somebody, see what the feedback is,
yeah.
and then you work forward towards their project. So
right.
So just that whole format. I had 3 or 4 joints that I was on, and my own John Pulls Out My Flamer, produced by Ant Banks. He's also on the hook on the Bad Influence album, and then featured on the Cellblock compilation, and that's how we came full circle to the rebirth. In that time, though, I did Off the Hook on Twice in Karan's album. I did No Soliciting with Gangsta P. I did Dirty Work with Short C, Ron, Dilly, and so I was making a name that way as well. I did 3 times. 3 strikes on a Scar AX album, so I'm popping up here and there because the buzz is being created. It's like, man, who's ill? So that's how that came to be.
Who put you and Shorty B together?
Dave, because he was like, man, I got a chick, she raw, and wow. So we collaborated.
What did you think when he said she was raw and y'all got in there? What did you
Again,
did you think she could keep up?
Huh?
Did you think she could keep up? Like you set that I got a razor blade and them tailor made for the streets. You went crazy,
never
man.
Fade. Exactly, never fade. Plays for keeps is way too deep. But again, that was all being laced with the game of the town. So, when you say could she keep up, I do think that's an unfair question, only because I was really, really coming into my own, and even Ron Dilly and I used to battle in the studio. So, not that there's not a female on a man's level,
right?
But I'll leave it as that. I don't, because I don't, if it's out there already, I don't know. But I don't write for people. I only have written for Ant Banks, and I was asked to write her verse. Anthony wrote part of her first stanza of the second verse, and then she wrote the rest. But the second part of her verse, she came up her second verse was raw. So I didn't take it as, because I absolutely hate writing for people. I don't want nobody sounding like me. I don't want to have my cadence, no nothing. No, you know what I mean? So that was, along with Ant Banks on Do or Die, and I forget what other album I wrote for Ant Banks on. I didn't mind writing for Banks because he's a producer. So it's not the same as a person that calls himself an MC or an artist or a rapper, and you write for them. So with that being said, I didn't have a problem with writing her a verse.
Right.
In order for it to be on par.
Right. Okay. Your voice per se in hip hop, we have had some artists with signature voices, Tone Loc, Jadakiss. You got your own. What has that voice done for you? Like when you was explaining to me how all of these features that I didn't know that you was on, you just ran off a little bit of I didn't know about a lot of them joints. When they recognizing you for the voice, like because they don't know you personally and shit. But tell me about the voice.
The voice actually originates from my dad, my father, my brother Devin, who sang on "Can You Swing It" and "What Would You Do" and several other, and what "Don't Be Faking the Funk." He sang on Mac Mull's "One Way." We all have the same speaking voice. You cannot tell the difference if it's Devin, my dad, or myself. That's the voice we have. They sing, I rap it. And so, of course, the voice has helped me with the ladies. So that part has always been, the clothes really did phenomenal because of the voice. and then it allowed me to stand out, even if I'm speaking in a room or introducing myself. So it has absolutely helped open doors. I call it, it's the movie, one of my favorite movies called Dune. It's the voice from the outer worlds. It's just, it ain't from here.
Right. You mentioned that you have a sibling that is a musician as well.
Yeah, Devin.
Okay.
Can You Swing It? Private Cries on Ron and Diddley's album. Mac Mall, One Way or Another. What Would You Do on my album? What else Dev been on? I just said oh shit. The second compilation when I did I can't even remember the name of excuse me, the name of the damn song I did on the second album. It was supposed to be for a movie soundtrack, but we just never closed the deal on it.
Right.
I remember the name of the song. But yeah, Devin is my brother. They thought it was Devin the dude initially, but no. He's in the video with me. Can You Swing It?
Okay.
Can You Swing It video. That's my little brother.
Y'all came in together, and y'all came into the game together?
We did not. I hit an album first, as far as because he got on Private Cries with Ron and Dilly and them. Devin though introduced me to Doyle, Charles Leonard, who did most of the production for my album. Can You Swing It was Devin's song, and I said, "Oh, bro, you gotta let me put 2 verses on there," and then it became our song.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any specific producers from the Bay that you like to work with?
Of course, Banks. Again, he goes by Doyle, but Charles Leonard. Listen, he got the bangers on my album. He got Chester Reflections, What It Is, Can You Swing It, Whirlwinds. He did. Listen, he has most of the bangers on my album. I think Banks did 4. You got B Natural, who did 3 Hills of Sugar, things like that. So all I knew was, we went around. And again, other than the features I were on, I don't know who did the track. It was just like, Hill, can you hop on this with a Scar? Can you hop on this with Gangsta P? Now, no soliciting was done by Banks, I remember.
Right.
Twice in Quran, twice ran that. So twice, as far as who did the production for Off the Hook, I don't remember. I could call him and ask him, but I don't know who did the beat for Off the Hook.
Are you recognized as an East Coast artist, or people primarily like? I'm asking you this about Chester. Do Chester? Do they consider you? Do they acknowledge you as a rapper?
Only the people my age.
Only the people your age.
Mr. Ill, yeah. Because I was already gone from Chester, so I left Chester in '89 to Delaware, and again, that's when I started hitting the town. And from '89 to '92, and then after '92, I stayed in the town. So I, spent the first part of my childhood up to age 14, 15, primarily in Chester, and then every summer at 15, I was in Oakland. 18, 19, I stayed in the town.
Would you still come? Would you go home to visit at times?
Yeah, I came back in '96 for Devin's graduation, and then '01 I ended up coming back for a funeral and ended up staying back again in Delaware.
In '96, the Bay Area was blazing hot. When you went back home, was they listening to any Bay Area down there in Chester?
Yeah, because my cousins and family, after they see me on the box and BET and stuff like that, they was pumping, they was pumping the Rebirth, they was pumping the Cellblock compilation, and then we had been all over since '92. '92 was real big. We hit, we toured, did Freaknik, Mardi Gras. You know, I've been in all them hoods down there, 5th Ward, 3rd Ward, 9th Ward. Also parts of Louisiana, been to Wayne and them's hood. Just walking around passing out CDs, you know,
Right.
in different colleges, Tennessee, Spelman, you know, all those different. That was a blast. But I say all that to say is we had went over as far as from California to Atlanta, and I had people in Atlanta, so it also made its way up the East Coast. My boy Tyree, he was in Boston at the time and was like, man, when I seen it on the store, remember the wall? The wall was still, you had Wall, Sam Goody, all that. It was, you know, you had physical cassettes and CDs, but he seen it in the wall, grabbed it.
Right.
So, yeah. So it had made its way because it had national distribution because it was on Priority. So Priority was doing everything that they could do to push it.
Was y'all hotter than in '96? In your opinion, you from the East. Was y'all hotter in '96 than the East Coast was? I got an opinion on it. I want to hear what you're gonna say though.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Then East Coast artists were accepted in the West.
Now, what I mean by that is '96. It Was Written came out, right? Summer '96. But
yeah,
you also had Tupac. You had Getting It came out by Too Short. Yep. You had the Cellblock compilation, and you just had a whole bunch of shit going on out there.
Oh, yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? And I stand by.
It held its own with everybody's speakers. So I know Layla Steinberg is like a big sister. My boy Reese and her have a child together, Nico. Not to just be like, you know what I mean? But so I've been affiliated with Layla since 18, 19.
Right.
She had came to the East Coast to do her AIM for Deshaun, because Deshaun's from LA, Deshaun Jackson. So she was when he was a Philadelphia Eagle. We met up when she came out there. I attended her AIM, some of her AIM classes up in Berkeley. A couple of Outlaws. I met Afeni, never met Pac.
Right.
But my brother Duke, who I don't think would ever cap, he was like, man, Pac heard claim they got gats and said we should put that out as your single. Because, he was big on calling niggas out about the fuckboy shit. So, and claim they got gats means that you claim you got gats, but really got gats, gay-ass tendencies. So, he was big on that one. Other than that, I've only been in circles of, but never met the man directly. Had been blessed to be in the same 4080 magazine with him on there as half angel, half devil. My interview was in there. I've been in like that. It was that 6 degrees of separation type thing,
Right.
but never in face to face with the gentleman. He and I both being Geminis. I'll say this sidebar. A lot of Geminis is just raw. It's our thought process. It's our that mindset of below God, above y'all.
Right.
Now that's my own. So nobody else. I've never heard nobody else say that, but that's the thought process. The humility. Once the humility sinks in, then it's we cool to deal with. But as far as the bars, that mentality is why a lot of 3000, Jada, Biggie, Pac, have that type of that depth. The versatility. Not saying that nobody else is, but that is the binding tie.
I believe at that time, the Bay Area was bigger in the music business than the East Coast at the time. Nas was out, Biggie was out, Tupac was bombing on all of them that summer.
Everybody.
Yeah, he was bombing on all of them, and I think the fair thing to say is that 1998 was another golden year for the East Coast. That's when Nori and all the DMX and all of those guys came out.
Oh, yeah.
By then, the East Coast really kind of like snatched it back. But 95, 96, the Bay Area was a whale.
It was the gold standard.
For real. I'm still learning because it wasn't no visuals that accompanied these compilations and shit like that. I'm still learning who sung what by way of my interviews. Like I'm interviewing people, and in the comments, like I interviewed San Quinn, and I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing about the song "Come On In." People was in the comments like, "Yo, yeah, Come On In was the shit," and then I remembered. I'm like, that was the shit, but I didn't know that was his song because we would get these compilations, the Cellblock compilation. It didn't have any artwork. It was prison bars, and it just got a bunch of names and shit. So you don't know what these niggas look like. Yeah, it's been a learning experience, man. But I'm definitely a huge fan of the whole Bay Area sound. Could you tell me the difference between Bay Area hip hop and Los Angeles hip hop, Southern California and Northern California?
I got you. Well, the cliche thing is the Bay is just different, and it is. Honestly, the music-wise, I mean, just the ear is different, and I think it has that tie to, you got to go all the way back to the history, that Panther spirit, that spirit of upward movement, hyphy, just that energetic, that extra manishness, just those terms, being off the hook or fashizi, which, twice said that before I heard anybody, seriously, and things of that nature. So it's just it was the desire to be so unique and so different than anywhere else that's what gives Oakland's or the Bay Area's sound its own. Even as far as the dancing, the sideshows, and not that anybody else don't have sideshows, but all that whole culture, it had its own culture within inside the hip hop culture.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn. I love it, man. I love everything that you're sharing with me now. What type of doors did appearing on the Cellblock compilation? What type of doors flew open for you after that? I know you had to. I ended up getting locked up, but I know you had to go on to do great things after a summer like that.
Well, that's what propelled the rebirth. The pH Balance remix. Like I said, I began to get requests to be on other people's stuff. I had mentioned it previously, but then, like I said, the No Soliciting with Gangsta P, Ascari X, Three Strikes, things of that nature. Man, I got stuff that's unreleased on Real, with Rich and Sieg. Still just sitting on the Real, like but those features are what were the product of the Cellblock compilation.
Okay.
They were kind of mixed in with me appearing on Ron and Dilly's album, as well as the Cellblock compilation prior to mine. But I was getting requests, was like, man, can we get Ill on, let me get Ill on Peace, John, let me get Ill on, like that. So that was the byproduct of the compilation and Ron and Dilly's album.
Right. So ultimately, because I'm following you on Instagram now, what became of MR.ILL? What became of MR.ILL, the MC? Yeah, what happened?
Well, Ron's death, I lost my love for the music. The music went from the 2 on the 10 scale to like a 8 or 9. I don't want to do music no more. Banks had to ask Dilly and I to do, and Dilly had already had Time Is Ticking Away. That was his concept, and that we did that in tribute to Ron.
Okay.
On Big Things album that he produced. That also put my name further out there because you had Cube, Pac, you had so many big hitters on the Big Things album. I had literally forgot how many other people were on there as well, and was like, dang. So when I was getting hits from Brazil, Cuba, Russia, Germany, Greece, Italy, that was what do you call it? That was surreal. It was lost on me. I didn't, you know, them my homies. So, you know, yeah, but that's what happened. My love for the music just dropped all the way down on the scale. And for years, I fell into the role of husband and father. I got married, I had children, and that's what. Now, once again, I never stopped writing.
Got it.
But I stopped submitting my writings for public consumption.
Okay.
So, this is the one time you'll hear me to my own horn. I'm still raw. I still got it. It's the reason why, like I said, there was, if you listen to Brownie Blend's Time's Up remix, he called that the Legends remix. So even to be called that, is an honor. And it's been explained to me as you said, well, ill. You came out when it was a lot of heavy hitters, nigga. You made a name for yourself amongst all this heat.
You did. Because they be talking about you. They do. I've interviewed a lot of them niggas from the Bay, and when I say it, when I bring that shit up, they the ones that told me. They the ones that told me where you was from. Yeah.
Got you.
So
that's how it was explained to me, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. And it is absolutely an honor. 25, 26 years later, after just those features in one album, that people still want to hear more. And I got it for them. But again, life took me in another direction after Ron died. I was hurt. That was my brother. So, we had just hung out the night before at Jeffrey's. And then the next word I got, Ron, we was at Highland Hospital, and he on the table bloated because it's in a car accident. His rib cracked, punctured his lung, and now blood's leaking into his body, and he's swole. And we just standing over my brother crying and praying and hoping that he make it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you know Mac Dre?
I never met Mac Dre.
Never met him. Okay. Is there
Two
any...
that have passed that I met, like I said, is Gangsta P and Sieg I met and knew personally and had the honor of being on albums with them.
Any plans of releasing any music this summer?
Yeah, as soon as Ron and Diddley's all wrapped up, what's the name? I'm going to re-release the Rebirth on vinyl because it was never released on vinyl. So 250 copies of vinyl, special marble purple color, and CD.
Okay.
I'm going to put 2 new songs on there.
Dope.
And then I'm gonna get that buzz again, and then just put some music out. I own the Rebirth. Dave, I have the rights to the Rebirth, just as Diddley has the rights to Bad Influence. So that's how I'm able to, I own my job.
Did they get a deal for the Cellblock compilation? I remember that shit being in magazines and everything. Like, that was kind of different for a compilation, underground compilation. Huh?
Yeah, we were signed up. We had a distribution deal with Priority.
Okay. No wonder that joint made it all the way to the East Coast. Got it. All right. Mr. Ill, man, it's been a pleasure to sit down with you and get, parts of your story, man. I've been a fan for a very, very long time. Y'all killed that 1-800 Fed Up with the Bullshit. That is so fire. I played it on my live stream before. People just go crazy to this day, man. Some music aged, that one didn't. You could that'll smack a barbecue this summer, man. Go ahead and plug that shit in. You know what I'm saying? But again, I appreciate your time. Tell my listeners where they can find you at on social media, and we're gonna get out of here.
You can find me on The Real Mr. Ill on Instagram. You can find me at #AbsaBlackly on Twitter, and you can find me as Soldier for Christ, SLDR. The number 4 CRIST 777 is my handle on Instagram. And before we go, MCs always talking that upper echelon. Get these, but get stepped upon as you walk it back. I take up an offering for your coffin black. Always making up facts. Get your face smacked. Revlon on wax. I'm Teflon. That's for any and everybody. And ain't no ifs, ands, buts, or probablys. My nuts, I drag them behind me like the Red Rider wagon. Who are you? I defeated the dragon. Dragon, huh? You Michael, I'm Joe Jackson. Plus caption, red, 777, bread, 11, plus bevel head. No need to cuss, but fuck you and the devil.
Damn. Yep, you still got it. I still see you still jump out there and flame some shit up. Ill, I appreciate your time. I'll be looking forward to hearing more music from you. This is the Dribble Podcast by Gully TV. And again, I appreciate you for coming through. Thank you.
Salute, salute.
All right. Peace.